Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we'll be taking a look at the DX Evol trigger from Kamen Rider build. This is used primarily by Evol, as you can see here in the new black hole form, which it's kind of neat. You can kind of see the design, this is kind of the circle that's on his visor here, and then you have these pieces that go out, which are kind of like this. So I kind of think it's cool how the design of the trigger kind of emulates the design of the suit. But it's very similar to the Hazard trigger, just for the Evol driver. Really cool picture of the black hole form there on the side. Not too much going on this side. Not too much going on the bottom. And then it just shows how it plugs into the Evol driver. Works very similar to the Hazard trigger. We'll go ahead, we'll get it out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the Evol trigger. Definitely a very kind of solid, hefty piece. I like the way it feels. I really love the design of it. I think the color scheme is very simple, but it's very sharp. And like I said, I love how this piece here kind of resembles the head of Evol with the kind of, I don't know, horns for lack of a better term. The gauge here has this kind of, I'm not quite sure what this is, almost like a sun decal or something. When you press the button down here, that's what makes it spin around. When you crank the lever of the driver, it has a tab that goes up and down, which is what hits that button repeatedly and makes it spin around. This is the maroon piece that plugs into the top. QR code here on the back. There are 3 watch batteries that go in here, so if you would ever need to take them out, you just unscrew right there and they go here. But they are included, so you don't have to worry about that, which is nice. So it's very simple. It doesn't do a whole lot, kind of like the Hazard trigger in that regard. You press the button once and it says over the evolution. You pop it in, you put some bottles in, you get your 2 sounds, the kind of transformation sound and your attack sound. Hit the button a second time, it's going to say over the evolution. And then we're going to spin it again, and you're going to get 2 more sounds. Sadly, that's kind of it. And it really doesn't matter which 2 bottles you put in. It's going to say Revolution. It's going to say, well, we'll get to it. I'm not going to do it for you here, but I'm going to go ahead and press it once. We'll use the 2 that he uses on the show. So it says Black Hole Revolution, which is a very cool sound effect. I do like the voice. It sounds very evil and ominous, which is very cool. If we spin it again. So you get Black Hole Finish, which again, very cool sound effect. Although kind of what I've noticed is when you have the Evol trigger attached, this makes absolutely no sounds really. Like, it'll do the lights for you, but all of the sounds come from this. So if we press the button on the top again, so then it says Fever Flow. And I was wrong. You do get kind of the opening salvo of sounds up until Ready Go, and then it switches over. So then you get black hole break. So you kind of get 2 sounds for each press of the button. You get black hole, and then black hole finish, or fever flow, black hole break. So they're very cool sound effects, but that's kind of it. Like I said, it really doesn't matter which bottles you put in. And just to prove my point, we're going to do 2 completely normal bottles. So again, it's the same sounds out of the Evol trigger, which makes sense. It doesn't have a reader in it, so there's no way for them to pack a ton of sounds into it. And I get that. But I guess what's weird to me is when you put the 2 bottles in the driver, yes, it says their name, but after that, there's no kind of unique sound played by the driver. You know what I mean? I feel like with the hazard trigger, you still got the drivers kind of making its own sounds for the bottles, and then this were making its own sounds for this. But for this combination, the driver just says ready go and then completely stops, and everything else comes out of this. So you put the bottles in and it says their names when you do that, but then you don't hear like the transformation sound of these 2 bottles. Like you don't hear Rosecopter while you're hearing this. And I guess because there's so many sounds from this that they didn't know how to kind of intersplice them. I don't know, it's just a guess on my part. But once you put the bottles in and this just kind of ramps up and says ready go, then it pretty much shuts off. So there's no, I guess I'm not explaining it correctly or really good, but I really wish, like, if I was going to use these as opposed to Cobra in this, it would say something for, you know, the rabbit evolution while it was doing these sounds, but instead it just says rabbit rider system, then it completely stops over here, and it's still just the same 4 possible sounds out of this. So it's not a huge problem, but it's a little bit of a disappointment for me. So by no means am I saying that the Evol trigger is bad. I like it a lot. I love the design of it, I love the color scheme, and the 4 sounds that you do get out of it are a lot of fun. They're neat, they're menacing, the voice actor does a really great job with it. I really do like everything that this does. And the same with the hazard trigger. I didn't really expect a ton of new sounds out of this. I guess I just wish the timing with the driver was a little bit neater so that you still got the unique bottle sounds from the driver while at the same time they interacted with this. But this just kind of overrides everything. No matter what bottles you put in, it's just going to go ready, go from the driver, and then you're going to get the same 4 sounds out of this. Which, those 4 sounds are good, but it doesn't really give you incentive to play with this a whole lot to try different bottle combinations. Because if you could have, say, you know, you put in rabbit and rider system and it would say revolution, and then you'd get the cool black hole sound, and then it would say like black hole rabbit evolution or something, if they timed it so that while it was saying the black hole revolution, it could then also say like rabbit something. But I guess because it's saying revolution instead of evolution, so it couldn't really say black hole revolution rabbit evolution, because that sounds weird. So I don't know what I expected, but it's just a little bit of a bummer that when you're playing with this, you just pop in 2 random bottles, get your 4 sounds out of this, and then you kind of move on. I still love the design aesthetic. I still think Black Hole is an amazing form. So I do think this is something you'll probably want to pick up just to kind of complete your collection. And if you're a huge fan of Evol, then you're going to want to kind of have all his swag. So it makes sense to pick it up. And I can't remember exactly, but I don't think this was too expensive. I think it was $20 or less after conversion rate and before shipping and that kind of stuff, depending on where you pick it up. So I definitely think it's worth having because I think it looks great and the sounds you do get are fun. I just feel like the playability factor is a little limited. I feel like you could get bored of it kind of quickly. Just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.